coffin? Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin, it was all the wood. There were no nails, no reinforcements, and there were no gaps in the wood anywhere. It was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman. Or I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin was deep brown and didn't show any signs of age or decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said that she looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike. She looked like she might wake up any minute. She didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay-Bennett finished the search and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to melt. Let me guess. Alice stayed frozen. They say that the stink was horrible. But there was one body that didn't fall. The girl in the coffin. That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month had passed and another, and it was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say that she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about the girl started to spread, and people came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice. Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long. Why? Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. And after a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it. Wait. You just said she was on this boat. Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship. But why the hell would you say something like that? Because I know. And just, what is it you know? What happened to Alice after she was stolen? Junpei Gold. 7, dude! Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice? 7 nodded slowly, and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried. Well, around that time, the word was that there was a thriving black market in New York. I mean, I'm sure there still is, but this was special. All millionaires from all over the world. I heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Gordane. Now, if you recall, Lord Gordane was the one who was a survivor of the Titanic sinking and then became obsessed with anything Titanic related. Something tells me Lord Gordane was onto something. He discovered something and sought to know more. So he obsessively collected anything he knew that traced back to the Titanic and studied it with great detail, hoping to understand. Still. You've heard the name before, right? Sir Gordane. Isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic, the Titanic's sister ship? Yeah, that's him. No, I guess he hadn't done that yet. What do you mean? Gordane bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. Okay. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic. But nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently, he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden. However what? Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past a forest of knowledge, beneath the navel of the gigantic." The hell is that? Some kind of riddle? Your guess is as good as mine. Seven threw his hands up in defeat. So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship. A scary idea. Before Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim, I don't think it's bizarre, they heard Clover's voice from the door. She did not sound pleased. "Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here." Okay, we're coming. Ugh. Seven looked at Junpei. "Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it." With that cryptic remark, he turned and left the room. Junpei was left behind to ponder what he just heard. He tried to remember what June had told him earlier. That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic. And even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted. Was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Had the water in her body become Ice 9? No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist. Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to clear it, and followed Seven to the operating room where Clover was waiting. Alright. What up? Let me just put this purple liquid on your face. Okay. So, we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin. So the ones we've got must be for Lucy, right? No, I'm guessing they're swapped, man. We gotta try and take some from John, some from Lucy, swap them up so that their weight matches. Yeah. Seems like it. I say we give Lucy a pass back. Any objections? Nope. Agreed. Alright, let's get started. Combined! Alright, let's check her weight. Oh, there's a number on here. 51 kg. What's this? Is this the weight? Well, we were just stacking body parts on it, so I guess it makes sense that it's the weight. Well, I think she was like 53.2, something like that. So, she's a bit underweight. And I'm guessing John's a bit overweight. Hold up, Janie sent me something. I'm gonna look at it. Huh. Interesting. Well then. I wonder what that could mean. Now that you mention it, I did see it before. She does look a lot like that. Alright, let's check out John. What you weighing at, bud? There's something that looks like it could be a scale next to the operating table. There's something that looks like a slit on top of it. Okay, damn! Hey, nothing happened. That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong weight. Weight? Yeah, well, you know, there's a scale on the side of the bed. Maybe. We need to get that scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's. Ah, let's give it a shot. Okay, the screen below displays 2 medical mannequins. You can switch their body parts by touching the part you want to switch out, and then the part you want to switch in. So is this, these are, we cannot edit these are fixed. Okay, well, the chest looks fine to me. I mean, the hearts could be different weights as well. You just don't know, do you? Alright, so let's just... Don't go, damn it, no. Junpei, maybe you need to do this. I just want to look at how much they're supposed to weigh. Yes. Fine. Right. Let's have a gander at this. Okay, so the male has wider thighs where there's less of a gap. Woman has wider hips, so I'm guessing her stomach is correct. Man has more defined arms. So let's have a look and see how that fares. Okay, what a man. These look to be thicker. Everything seems in order here. Oh god, I didn't look at what weight they're supposed to be. Junpei, are you looking at that medical record? Shut up, Clover, I know what I'm doing. Go away. Just need to look at what the numbers are. John's 51.3, Lucy's 53.2. 51.3 for John, 53.2 for Lucy. 51.3 for John, 53.2 for Lucy. 51.3, 53.2. Okay. 51.3, 53.2. So they definitely do change their weight, don't they, the hearts? With this heart being heavier. Now we need to lose weight for John and gain weight for Lucy. Yeah, bud. Yeah, bud. Wait. Ah. No, wait, I'm meant to be losing weight. I have no idea. Hey Junpei, I just heard something. It came from John's operating table. We better check it out. Alright, check it out. Huh? The lid on the scale. Oh yeah, sweet. Well, I get it. It must have opened because we matched John's weight to what's on the chart. Sweet. It's a mark engraved on this key. I think it's the Jupiter symbol. Wait, is this? Yeah, it was this one. Hey, hold on. Well, that was a squeaky ass chair. Junpei stopped, about to put the key into the doorknob. What's up? Where's Clover? Huh? Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen. God damn it, where the hell did she go? Ugh. Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her. Sure thing. Junpei left Seven at the door and headed back to the operating room. He found her standing next to the operating table. She was staring at the mannequin. Hey Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here. She didn't respond. If she hadn't been standing up and breathing, Junpei might have thought she was dead. What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John? It wasn't the best joke, but it was something, an attempt to lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood, stock still, and said nothing. Clover, can you hear me? Perhaps this was something he said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly her mouth opened and she whispered in a dry, dead voice. I'm not gonna kill you. My brother might be dead. Huh? That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm gonna be next. Suddenly, the operating room felt very, very cold. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you? He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. The silence grew heavier. Junpei, what do you want to do? I find that very weird, how the game kind of does this. What do you want to do? Like someone's talking to me. I kind of want to go, who there? Who there? Told Clover they needed to leave. Give her the 4-leaf clover. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah. He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given earlier. He reached into his pocket and dug it out. A 4-leaf clover. Santa had given it to him in the second-class room. He held it out to Clover. Did you know that each leaf on the 4-leaf clover means something? Hope, faith, love, and luck? Take it. Use it as a good luck charm. He pressed a 4-leaf clover into her hand. Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck. Snake, your brother, he's not dead. He's alive somewhere, I'm sure of it. You just gotta believe in that. Clover stared at the 4-leaf clover in her hand. You could see tears start to form at the corners of her eyes. Thank you. Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with the baggy arms of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Her tears made small wet circles on the floor. Thank you. She said it again. Then she looked up at Junpei and seemed to choke down the last of her grief. She did her best to smile. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage. Now come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit. But still she didn't move. Wait. Before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you. What's that? What do you think when you hear the word experiment? For a moment his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him, aside from the dictionary definition. What? Oh. Huh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. That you know about the 4-leaf clover. Look, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now. Oh, no, it's nothing. Just forget about it. Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? Well, you managed to drop the axe on her back before, Junpei, so who knows? What is this experiment you were talking about? Clover looked away. The 4-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long time and then finally spoke. You promise you won't tell anyone? Cross my heart. Really? Really? I can trust you, right? Of course you can. Clover slipped the 4-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei. Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago. Wait. On this ship? Yeah, this ship. He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best he thought to save them until Clover had finished. It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Right, so before we go into this is really adding up with some theories we've been going on about, isn't it? This is really adding up now. We mentioned how this could be diving into this kind of psychic connection between people. Yeah? So now, this is starting to really piece together, and I'm really happy that my theories, they're still valid, they still work. Something about communicating through those fields that you can't see. Fields that you can't see? You'd heard something like this before. Clover nodded. Like, think about this. She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin. This is John, right? But is he really John? All Junpei could think was she has finally completely lost it. Isn't this like Lock's socks? Or the ship of Thesis? Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart. You don't know. You haven't heard of those paradoxes? Junpei shook his head. Clover laughed. Okay, well, pay attention then. This is how Lock Socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei? They're my favorite socks. So I guess I patch them up. Well, I guess I'd patch it up. Get some cloth and close up the hole. But what if another hole opens? I'd add another patch, I suppose. What if another hole opened after that? Another patch, I guess. Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches. Until eventually the original cloth and sock is totally gone. Once you get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with? That's tough. Junpei crossed his arms. So that's the Lock Socks thing. Yeah. The ship of Theseus is a lot like that. Or Theseus, sorry. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the ship of Theseus that you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and build another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts? Huh. It was an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued. Hey, do you think it's the same? What's the same? These guys. Is this John? Or is this Lucy now? Junpei looked at the operating table again. A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It was just like the Lock Socks in the ship of Theseus. The part of the body that holds a person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any number of internal organs. John's head and heart were both his. But apart from that, in a single arm, the rest of his body had once been Lucy's. Was that mannequin really John? We're just like these mannequins. She looked at Junpei again. Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die, and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye. The silence was broken by Seven. Hey! What the hell is taking you two so long? Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy. How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around. Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on. Oh, what were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting? No, it wasn't. We were just playing with the mannequins. Huh? Let's go, Junpei. Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed toward the exit. Seven stared after her and turned to Junpei with an amused expression. Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you're into that kind of thing, Junpei. You're a dick. Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood looking at the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key. Alright, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool? You don't need to keep asking. Just do it, alright? Fine then. He slid the key into the keyhole and turned it. He felt it unlock. The door opened with a soft, melancholy creak. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. There was no fanfare or confetti. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. They simply walked through the door, and that was it. Alright, let's get going. Hey man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy? You know, get a little excited? Not really. Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway. My brother might be dead. I'm gonna be next. Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead, and she was likely to follow him. He could pretend to be happy after hearing something like that. Sorry, how? You found it! Okay! Boom! Puzzle solved! Myth busted! They left the operating room. The hallway took them around several corners and past several doors, but they were all locked. Until at last, the final door was hidden in a corner of the hall. Now, this door is likely to take us back into the hospital room. And they're going to be like, yo guys, what the fuck's going on? Junpei grabbed the handle. As he made to push it open, a voice stopped him. The voice came from behind him and belonged to neither Seven nor Clover. What? Jumpy? Oh yeah. He spun around. He saw someone running toward him from the other side of the hallway. There were 3 people coming toward Junpei and his companions. Santa, Lotus, and June. They pulled up short in front of Junpei, breathing hard. Whoa. The hell is this? What are you doing here? What? We didn't... Before he could finish, Clover spoke. Hey guys, could you come take a look at this? She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she found. There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway. A map of the ship's interior. It said C deck in the upper left corner. It was, they assumed, a map of the floor they were on. Door 7 and door 8. The map confirmed that they already knew. Both doors eventually led to the same hallway where they had found themselves. In fact, yeah, isn't that what I said? We weren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open the door 9. That's how the non-re game works. Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again. As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness. One by one, the others saw what he'd seen. They moved as one for the door. He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall and put it in his pocket and followed the others. The six of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other five. Ready? I'm gonna open it. Slowly, all five nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw the door open. Yeah, bud. Open that shit up!